She trusted him. He told her the words she had been desperate to hear. "You're safe with me. I'll protect you." For a young woman who had already known what it meant to be hurt, those words sounded like salvation. They wrapped around her like a promise, a shield, a way out of the chaos she had endured. But what she didn't realize, what no one around her could have imagined, was that the very man who swore to keep her safe was the same man preparing to betray her in the most unthinkable way. He wasn't protecting her. He was selling her. This is the story of Lena Hartwell, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a young woman with dreams of teaching art. She wanted nothing more than a life of love and safety. But instead, she became the victim of a chilling deception, one that turned promises of security into the currency of her own destruction. Lena Marie Hartwell was born on June 19, 1994, in Evansville, Indiana. She grew up as the middle child in a hardworking family of 5. Her father, Daniel, worked long hours as a delivery driver, while her mother, Joyce, worked as a nurse. Money was tight, but they gave their children love and stability. Lena's older brother, Mark, was protective, while her younger sister, Rachel, idolized her. Friends remember Lena as someone who never overlooked the small things. She would stop to draw flowers growing out of cracked sidewalks or sketch the rusting corners of old buildings. Her art was her escape, her way of capturing beauty in unlikely places. She was patient and empathetic, volunteering at the local community center to teach kids how to paint. Her sister Rachel later said, "She saw beauty in everything. Even things we ignored. That was Lena." But behind her kindness, Lena carried private wounds. As a teenager, she had been in a relationship that left her shaken, a year-long cycle of control and emotional manipulation that ended badly. It made her wary. What she longed for, more than anything, was safety, someone to make her feel steady again. And in 2016, at the age of 22, she thought she found that person. She was working part-time at a bookstore while finishing community college when she met Aaron Whitlock. He was a regular customer, 10 years older than her, with a sharp presence that drew attention. One evening, noticing her sketchbook on the counter, he struck up a conversation. He told her he admired her talent, asked about her art, and listened closely. He came back again and again, sharing coffee during her breaks, offering to walk her home. For Lena, his attention felt like validation. He was older, confident, and seemed to genuinely care. Her friends were cautious, raising eyebrows at the age difference, but Lena dismissed their concerns. She told Rachel, "He makes me feel safe. I don't feel like I have to watch my back with him." Safety, the very word that had been missing from her life, was now tied to Aaron, and he repeated it often. "You don't have to worry anymore. I'll take care of you." Those promises were soothing, and soon Lena was convinced she had finally found someone who understood her needs. At first, Aaron seemed everything she wanted. He drove her to classes, bought her sketch supplies, encouraged her to pursue her art. But slowly, his support turned into control. By 2017, red flags were becoming impossible to ignore. He discouraged her from seeing her friends, claiming they didn't really care about her. He grew angry if she didn't answer his calls immediately, bombarding her with texts. Her friend Maya remembered, if she didn't respond, he'd just keep calling. She said it was easier to answer than to deal with his anger. Aaron framed it as protection. He told her the world was dangerous, that only he could keep her safe. What sounded like care was really isolation. What looked like protection was possession. Unbeknownst to Lena, Aaron was living a double life. Court records would later reveal his involvement in fraud, drugs, and most disturbingly, ties to trafficking networks. By late 2018, he was drowning in debt. Investigators would later find text messages between him and a man named Victor Kane, a 41-year-old known for trafficking women across state lines. In one message, Aaron wrote, "I've got someone who trusts me. You'll get what you need. My debt's cleared." That someone was Lena. On Sunday, February 10th, 2019, Lena spent the afternoon sketching at her parents' house. Around 6:30 p.m., she kissed her mother goodbye, saying she was meeting Aaron for dinner. At 7:04, she texted Rachel, "Don't wait up. Love you." It was the last message she would ever send. Surveillance cameras later caught Aaron's car crossing into Henderson, Kentucky, around 8:12 p.m., heading toward an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. What happened inside those walls was pieced together from forensic evidence. Lena walked in believing she was meeting a friend of Aaron's. Instead, she was ambushed. She fought back, her arms showed defensive wounds, but she was overpowered. Victor Kane was waiting. Within hours, her life was brutally ended. The coroner later confirmed the cause of death as blunt force trauma combined with asphyxiation. 2 days later, on February 12th, her body was discovered buried in a shallow grave near the Ohio River. When Lena didn't return home, her family immediately reported her missing. Flyers were printed. Volunteers searched nearby neighborhoods. But from the beginning, detectives sensed Aaron's story didn't fit. He told police Lena had stormed out after an argument, but his demeanor was detached. Detective Sarah McMillan recalled, "He spoke like he was reciting a script. No urgency, no emotion." Phone records quickly dismantled his story. His cell pinged near the warehouse at the same time Lena disappeared. Surveillance footage placed his car there, and when Lena's body was discovered, the focus shifted from suspicion to certainty. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered the chilling truth. Aaron had been communicating with Kane for weeks. Texts outlined the plan. He would bring Lena. She would never see it coming, and in return, his debts would vanish. One message read, "She trusts me." That's the point. To prosecutors, this was the clearest evidence of betrayal imaginable. Aaron didn't just fail Lena, he weaponized her trust. The trial began in October 2020 at the Vanderburgh County Courthouse. The prosecution presented their case methodically, laying bare the betrayal. Friends testified about Lena's gradual isolation. Family members described her search for safety. Forensic experts explained the wounds that showed she had fought to survive. The text messages between Aaron and Kane were read aloud, each line striking the courtroom like a hammer. Lena's mother broke down in tears. Aaron's defense argued that he never intended her harm, that Kane acted alone. But the jury saw through it. After just 7 hours of deliberation, the verdict was unanimous: guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy. Both Aaron Whitlock and Victor Kane were sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. For the Hartwell family, justice brought closure, but not peace. Rachel stood outside the courthouse after sentencing and said, "He promised to keep her safe." And she believed him. Safety shouldn't be a weapon. We'll never get her back, but we can fight to make sure no one else falls for the same lie. In Lena's memory, the family founded the Hartwell Foundation for Safe Futures, dedicated to raising awareness about coercion, manipulation, and trafficking. They visited schools to teach young people about red flags in relationships. They partnered with shelters to support women escaping abuse. Every year on February 10th, they gather at the riverbank in Evansville, holding candles and sketches Lena left behind. Friends and strangers alike share stories. They light the night, not just with grief, but with resolve to carry her legacy forward. Lena Hartwell's story is a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous promises come wrapped in warmth, that safety can be weaponized, and that trust, once exploited, can cost everything. She was more than a victim. She was a daughter who loved her family, a sister who made her siblings laugh, an artist who could find beauty in broken places. She deserved a lifetime of joy. Instead, she was betrayed by the man she believed would protect her as her family fights to turn tragedy into advocacy. Her legacy shines through. And as we tell her story, we must remember that behind every headline is a human life. Behind every statistic is someone like Lena, someone who trusted, loved, and deserved so much more. If Lena's story moved you, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Talk about the red flags you've seen. Share this video to raise awareness. And if you want to continue uncovering stories that matter, stories that honor victims and fight for change, please like this video, subscribe to Evidence Uncovered, and join us in ensuring these voices are never forgotten. Because trust should never be a weapon, and safety should never come at the cost of betrayal.